I am the founder and CEO of PopChest, and we are building YouTube on the blockchain, a decentralized video distribution platform that has no ads and no subscriptions called the Pop Network. Now, we use the Pop token, micropayments, peer-to-peer micropayments, and peer-to-peer video sharing to create an entirely new way of consuming online video, and we're actually launching this summer. Not doing our ICO and then maybe launching sometime well into the future. We're actually launching the platform this summer. We are based in the United States, so as you all know, the regulations there are a little bit more stringent. So you hear all this talk about utility tokens. The best way to have a utility token is to actually have a token that has utility on the blockchain network that you're making. So we've been working at this for the past 2 years, and we're so excited to be able to bring it to you now. So, as I said, come from the United States, specifically from Hollywood. So they say that the best startups are ones where founders are solving their own problems. Well, this is me solving my own problem. So my background is in the entertainment industry. Spent the past 10 plus years as a network television editor, and from that position, I had firsthand knowledge of the global media distribution system. And there's a few things I can say with absolute certainty. One, it's a mess. So everything is just up in the air right now. So you have all the networks that are starting to have apps. You have all of these new streaming-only video services. You have this massive, multi-hundred-billion-dollar industry, and it's going through a generational change. So much so that in the next year, 80% of all internet traffic is just going to be video. At the same time, it's wildly antiquated. So I'll just give you one example. So you pull out your smartphone, you want to watch a video. Typically, you have to watch a 15 or 30-second video before you watch the video that you want to watch, right? Well, why is that? They just took the business model from TV and popped it on the internet. Well, why is that? Well, they took the business model from radio, put it on TV. Well, why is that? The first pre-roll ad goes back to radio, 1922. So here you have one of the biggest industries on the planet, and it's behaving like it's back in the days of horse and buggy. It's ripe for disruption. And it seems like the biggest winners so far are the new online video platforms. 80% of all video, of all traffic on the internet as video. Basically, 2 companies control most of it, right? That's crazy. That in itself should make us all just kind of get up and start with pitchforks and torches. That's insane. This is an industry that needs disruption. So how do we do it? How do we take on the biggest companies in the world? So as I left Hollywood and went to Silicon Beach, I racked my head and came up with a good model. I found an example that showed us the way. And that example is the Albanian Army. So the Albanian Army is what the head of Time Warner, one of the biggest media companies in the world, called this little company called Netflix back in the day. So to the status quo, this idea of changing the way things were done, it seemed laughable. And you know what? Maybe they were right. 20 years ago, this was the first version of Netflix. Kind of looks ridiculous, right? But what they did is they took what every insurgent, successful insurgent, knows to do. They said, let's take our competitors' perceived biggest strengths and make it into their biggest weakness. But our competitors are so big. Well, we can be nimble. But our competitors are everywhere. Well, let's go where they can't follow. And if you have enough people committed to that, you have something more powerful than an army. You have a movement. And that's really what we're building with the Pop Network. It's more than a crypto app. It's more than a new video streaming platform. We're building a movement. So let me ask you this. We know that every time when you watch a video online and you see an ad, you're basically forking over all of your private information, your history, your purchase history, your browsing history. And if you've been following the Facebook scandal, you know that you're basically forking over all of that information of all your friends and all your family. The value of you in that transaction is less than a penny. So if I could say to you, well, why not just give that fraction of a penny directly to the content creator whose video you're watching and cut out all of those middlemen and all of the junk that comes with it? How many people would take that deal? Absolutely everyone. Welcome to the resistance, my friends. You are now part of the movement. So our revolution is powered by Ethereum. Ethereum and BitTorrent. Ethereum for peer-to-peer microtransactions, and BitTorrent for peer-to-peer video sharing. And both of those technologies, we've customized them to make them all browser-based. So that means everything that we do will work from smartphones to smart TVs, which is key for mass market adoption. So let's dig down a little bit. So when I say Ethereum, what I really mean is ERC20 payment channels. So how many of you have heard of CryptoKitties, right? We had a popular app from Ethereum, probably the most popular so far. Everyone used it, and the network just collapsed because they didn't have scalable ERC20 payment channels. And what happens with payment channels is, think of it like topping up your wallet. You come to PopChest, you top up your wallet, 5, 10, 20 bucks. Then you start watching videos. So that initial top-up, that's locked in a smart contract. And as you watch videos, the state of that transaction, a state channel, that state gets updated. And it only gets written back to the blockchain once you decide to close out. So you can have thousands of transactions per second, very, very efficient in terms of interacting with the blockchain, but still maintaining the underlying cryptographic security. Now, in terms of video distribution, obviously you can't store that on the blockchain, but you can decentralize it. And one of the best things that we've had in the past 20 years is BitTorrent, a live, functioning, decentralized video network. We've added to that and made something called WebTorrent. So we're actually one of the premier sponsors of the open source project, along with the Brave browser. So we've taken WebTorrent, and that allows you to take a BitTorrent client and put it into the browser. So that means when I start watching a video and you want to watch the same video, you can start getting packets of that video from me. And now if you want to watch that same video, you can get packets from that video from both of us. And all of a sudden, we've formed this peer-to-peer swarm of video sharing, incentivized by the POP token. The token is the magic carpet that ties the room together. So publishers add content to the network. They receive tokens. Viewers start watching. They contribute tokens, but they can also start receiving tokens because they're sharing video with other people, either directly with packets or through social networks. And then nodes that operate all of the infrastructure of the network, encoding video, storing video, and the like, all held together with the POP token. That becomes the economic basis for this movement. So we've got a great team in Los Angeles working on this project. Pretty much the two leading people when it comes to Ethereum payment channels. My background, as I said, in the entertainment industry, NBC Universal, Viacom, that whole family of channels and networks. Guys from Sony, we've all been in the machine for a long time. And we actually consider our investors as part of our team as well. We went to the Boost VC accelerator in Silicon Valley, and Adam Draper, who was also our first institutional investor, the first institutional investor in Coinbase as well. So hopefully he's got a good eye for these kinds of things. He said something that really kind of drives everything that we're doing. Don't start a company, start a movement, and solve a problem. So using our position in Los Angeles, we're galvanizing a lot of content creators to help really kickstart this program from just being that crypto app and a new video streaming platform to really galvanizing around this idea. Can you imagine if everyone who ever used YouTube and Facebook actually received the value that they contributed to those networks? That's a lot of value. That's a completely new way of changing, of doing things and really changing the status quo. And that's what we're doing with the POP network. So, as I said, we're based in Los Angeles. Our offering in the United States will be considered a Regulation D offering. For international clients, it's a Regulation S offering. Funny enough, it's actually the requirements for international customers are a lot more favorable than US-based customers. So you can get a lot more information at popchest.com. Our private presale is just opened, so we're open to conversations with all kinds of folks who really are interested in building something that real people are going to use to make their lives better, not sometime in the future, but right now.